Mr Hollenberg. It's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship, and I congratulate the Honourable Member for Strangeford for securing this debate in a really important awareness-raising month for pancreatic cancer. I meet hundreds of people each month as Stroud's MP. I'm asked to take up thousands of issues and causes, and sometimes people demand that I take up causes, and my team get really fed up with me because I want to help absolutely everybody, and they say I generate work whenever I leave the House. And I know that many MPs from across all political parties will share the same experiences. So when constituents come to me with very clear asks and a very constructive approach, it makes things easier for us as MPs. But I found over time, in my relatively still new role over the last 3 years, everybody that comes to talk to me about pancreatic cancer comes with that constructive approach and a very clear set of asks about what they want to happen. That doesn't matter how personal this has been for them. It doesn't matter whether they've had loss or whether they're a cancer survivor themselves. Pancreatic cancer is something that people want to see change, and they're going about it the right way and bringing things to us so we can raise issues with ministers. And I thank them for that. I also thank the charities, Pancreatic Cancer UK and others. So the more I've looked into this, the more I've understood why this issue needs to be addressed. Campaigners and families affected by pancreatic cancer talk about the failure in our NHS medical system. As wonderful as the NHS is, there is a failure to detect this cancer earlier. They raise the failure to properly get people understanding the symptoms of this cancer. One of my constituents says the clue is in the loo, which I like as a slogan. But they also raise the fact that there is a failure to prescribe medicine that will help people. I'm going to come on to that separately. So if there are clear asks in this area of medicine, it does become confusing for people as to why they are not being met, because the medical healthcare system is failing our constituents at the moment on pancreatic cancer. And I know that Stroud people, who I love dearly because this is the most deadliest of common cancer, Stroud people will die of this if the healthcare system does not change. I just want to talk about one of my constituents, a young woman, my age, young mum, businesswoman, super bright, cancer survivor. You know, a young woman in what we thought of as an old person's cancer, an elderly person's cancer. And for about 5 years, she was going to her GP with fatigue and bloating, general lethargy, and further investigation into cancer was not done. List of symptoms. She went backwards and forwards, and it was not picked up. Her tumour was the size of a walnut, and it was internal, so it cannot be felt. We've got used to checking our bits and bobbins, as the wonderful Tracy Crouch MP tells us to do, but where there is an internal walnut-sized lump, it's not lumps on breasts and testicles. We are stuck. People are not detecting this, and if our medical system is not detecting it, then we are really in difficulties. And her experience highlights the need for people and healthcare professionals to be alert to smaller symptoms that could be a sign of pancreatic cancer. We need to talk about poo. The clue is in the loo. We need to talk about poo. There needs to be awareness raising, because this silent cancer, if we are not aware of symptoms as a general population, we are going to miss it, and we're going to become further into difficulties with this devastating loss. My constituent also asked me to campaign on the issue of PERT, so pancreatic enzyme replacement therapy. I know that there's been a push from cancer charities to try and get PERT prescribed more frequently, because 3 in 4 people with pancreatic cancer reported that PERT improved their quality of life. It's about 60 tablets a day. It's not an easy thing for people to take, but it improves their quality of life. It reduced the weight loss. It reduced the appetite loss. It reduced the abdominal pain. It reduced the bloating or wind. It reduces pale, oily and floating poo, and it reduces diarrhea. And all of the above enables the patients to regain some some normality in their day-to-day lives, and it helps food to be digested and absorbed by the body. This means they gain strength to undergo potentially life-saving treatment. So when we know about this treatment, we want to know why it's not being prescribed, so as frequently as campaigners would suggest it should be. So we understand that it's awareness or lack of among healthcare professionals about what PERT can do. We understand that the levels of nutritional expertise amongst healthcare professionals is quite low, and particularly in relation to general hospitals. And we also know, as the Honourable Member for Strangeford has set out, the stage that people are diagnosed with pancreatic cancer is incredibly late. The key asks, there's 6 key asks, if I may just read them out very briefly. One is to drive healthcare professionals' awareness raising. 2 is to place PERT at the heart of pancreatic cancer treatment improvements. 3, top-down prioritisation and approach that tackles the entire pathway of treatment and care. 4, PERT can be made UK-wide priority in pancreatic cancer care. 5, national targets for the use of PERT. And 6, local health bodies to ensure the effective prescription of PERT.